Dave Hughes with you. And joining me now, the executive director of the Mississippi Tourism Association on one of the biggest days of the year for tourism in the state. Danielle Morgan joins us. How are you today?
Hi, I'm well, Dave. Thanks for having us. It is a busy and exciting day today.
Well, and it's always fun when A, you have a busy day, and B, you got good stuff to talk about, and you're having both of those today.
Absolutely. We have great things to talk about. So we're getting ready this afternoon at 1:30 to have a little press conference on the Capitol steps sharing all of our success from 2023, and we have a lot of great things to share. We'll have people in from all over the state to celebrate the $7.5 billion that were spent by visitors in Mississippi last year.
Now, I'm going to get you to say that number again because that is a great way to start this conversation. If anybody says tourism, we got other things we should focus on. How much money was brought in from outside the state and spent here last year alone?
$7.5 billion
with a B.
I always like to say that was spent. And like you were saying, people do think it is Mississippi's fourth largest industry, which sometimes surprises people. But in addition to that, it also is so important to our other economic development efforts of attracting businesses and talent to the state, because the fact is a great place to visit is also a great place to live, and people want the same amenities that visitors want in the place that they live. And so we really work in tandem. Increasingly, economic development's recognizing the importance of quality of life and quality of place. And so that's a wonderful thing that we're all starting to work together there.
The busy restaurants tend to get busier. The ones with nobody in the parking lot don't pull a lot of people. We want, when businesses and industries are looking for some place to go, looking for a state to locate, we want them to look at Mississippi and go, they got something going on. Everybody's going there.
That's right.
Everybody's hanging out there. That's the cool place. Let's go there. That's the point of all this.
Absolutely, it is. And we if you ask your favorite restaurant, could you survive without visitors, or your favorite little shop downtown, many would say no, we couldn't. We need that influence of outside funding from our community. And so it's really great. It's an honor to get to help those small businesses. We believe they are the backbone of our communities, and so it's great to be a part of that. We have approximately 105,000 jobs in the state attributed to tourism. We're still working on trying to rebuild. Pre-pandemic, we're still down about 18,000 jobs in tourism, so we're trying to get back there. We're working on some initiatives to get us back to where we were prior to the pandemic, but the visitors are here, so we need to make sure we can serve them.
And, the important part here is $7.5 billion. I'm just going to keep repeating that number because it's enormous.
It is. And that's equivalent to $744 million in state and local taxes, too, which means that's less that you and I pay out of our pocket because of tourism. So that means a lot to everybody.
But you and I were talking before we came on the air, and what a lot of people don't realize is, you've got the Tourism Association. You guys do incredible work. I know that because of the number $7.5 billion. That's a key clue as to what kind of job you're doing. But everybody can help with this.
Absolutely.
Every single person in the state.
Every single person in the state. We laugh and say, if anybody asks you what there is to do in Mississippi, never say nothing, because there is so many wonderful things to do in the state. All of the wonderful attractions that we've added on in recent years, museums. You've probably noticed on social media, they're getting a lot of national attention as being tops in the country. Our Civil Rights and Mississippi History Museum, our Children's Museum. It's just, we have so many wonderful things to do. And so I think people in the state kind of discovered that a little bit during the pandemic, where they were staying a little closer to home, and they kind of got to explore the state and learned a lot that they hadn't seen before. So lots to do and see.
I'm going to throw one out. There are people in one part of the state that are going to automatically know the answer to this. Everybody else is going to go, wait, what? Where's the waterfall in Mississippi?
The waterfall is down at the Clark County State Park. I believe, is where the main. But there are some others around the state as well. Tishomingo has some up at their state park as well. Beautiful country. I was just there last week. So
there's one down in Wilkinson County, too.
Yes, one down in Wilkinson
Right
County.
down in the corner.
Absolutely. I think that's a cool thing about Mississippi is pretty much anything you're looking for, we have it. We have such a diverse landscape through our regions, from the foothills of Appalachia all the way down to the Gulf, and there's a little something for everybody. So.
Well, there is. And one of the ways that everybody can help is to spread the word, is to talk about it, is to let people know. I love asking the question about the waterfall because half the time, and I mean, you're knowledgeable, you know all this stuff. You ask just a random person, they go, what are you talking about?
Right,
what?
Right, for sure.
We don't have any waterfalls. Oh, have a seat, Bubba.
That's right.
Let me draw you a little map.
Absolutely.
Because we do.
Yeah, spreading the word and positive Mississippi, of course, making sure everything looks beautiful. We talked about that, making sure visitors get an amazing first impression when they enter the state. That's something we can all help out with by keeping things clean and tidy. And, of course, the hospitality and the friendliness is something we hear time and time again from visitors. Mississippi people are just unmatched. And so there's a reason we're the hospitality state.
Yes, 100%. That's just who we are.
It is.
I attribute it to all the catfish, but maybe that's just my dietary problem.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
No.
Catfish Fridays never hurt anybody.
I want to loop back around though to just one thing here for a second, because Danielle is far too nice and sweet of a person to say it the way I'm going to say it. That magic window in your car is not a trash receptacle. Quit throwing stuff out of your car.
That's right. That's right. We certainly don't want trash to be the first thing that our visitors see. So let's all take pride. We can all help out with that. It's definitely something everybody can do to make Mississippi more beautiful.
And those kind of things, you may not think that's a big deal. Well, there's so much to do in Mississippi. What does it matter if it's trashy? Oh, it matters.
It matters because it shows pride in your community and state. And when a site developer or someone's coming in to look at a big economic development project, they do look at that. They do look at, in Mississippi, we're a proud people here in Mississippi. So we just need to make sure that we're putting that best foot forward.
Well, and you have to show your pride of place.
That's right.
You have to put that on display, and that's a big part of it.
Absolutely.
All of this is bragging about it, talking about fun places you've been, cool things that you've seen and done in the state to other people, because word spreads.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't have to be talking to somebody from New York. I'm not going to do that to you, but word will spread as you continue talking.
For sure.
And making sure sometimes the best positive move you can make is to not make things worse.
That's right.
Which brings me right back to stop throwing stuff out your window.
Yes.
We're watching you.
Yeah, we're watching. I did want to talk a little bit about the amazing growth that we saw in 2023. The state has been very intentional in investing in recovery efforts with some of the federal funding that came in to restore tourism. And then also our Visit Mississippi marketing campaigns have been really effective and gotten tremendous results. They won a national award last year for them, which was we were pretty proud of. But all of those things have attributed to Mississippi. We were actually 11th in visitor spending growth in the United States
in
2023. So that was really a source of pride for us and a testament to when you invest in tourism, it pays off for the state. So we're very proud of that, and we're excited to share all of that today.
And again, anybody trying to look for a reason to justify why you should be fully staffed, number one. You said, 18,000 down from pre-pandemic?
That's right.
And positions filled right now.
Yes.
That should be back up to 100% of the slot.
We want to make sure they have a good experience when they're here, and that's a big part of that. So.
Yeah. Anybody looking for a reason to justify that or a way to justify that, I would like to ask Danielle to say that number again.
$7.5 billion in visitor spending in 2023.
My mind is blown by that. It really is. I knew it was big. I didn't know it was that big.
It's big. It's big. It's really important to our economy. And, I always like to say when tourism does well, so does sales tax and everything else. The communities really feel that impact. And as you said, it's out of state money for the most part. And so that we're not having to educate them either. So that's that's even better. But we're very proud of that. Another interesting thing that we saw last last year was our air passengers to Mississippi increased by about 10.7%,
Really?
which shows that our out-of-state, visitation is increasing because we're in large part a drive-in state. Touch states are kind of our biggest tourism markets, but seeing that means that we're reaching further, and people are wanting to come see the state and all of our wonderful culture and everything there is to see and do.
I'm talking to Danielle Morgan, the executive director of the Mississippi Tourism Association, on Tourism Day. We're just going to proclaim it to the hills. We'll keep talking to her when we return on Middays live in the Element Wealth Studios. Keep it. Danielle Morgan with us on Tourism Day, the executive director of the Mississippi Tourism Association. Tourism Day, you've got the press conference this afternoon, and then I understand you're going to party all night.
Well, some of the night. We're going to have our legislative reception. We partner with Mississippi Gaming and Hospitality Association. We've done this for, I think this is maybe our 11th year this year. So we always have a good time. This year our entertainment is Holly Brand. She was a former Miss Mississippi, and she was also a top 8 finalist on The Voice. So she's recently moved to Nashville to pursue a music career and represent Mississippi as the birthplace of America's music. We're very proud of that moniker, and it's important that we keep the next generation making us proud on the music scene. So we're excited about that.
Most definitely. And let me ask you this, because we're in the legislative session right now. Is there anything that has survived to this point that's out there that you're excited about?
Well, there's a lot we're keeping a close eye on. We always keep an eye on all the alcohol bills. That's always important to tourism. But we're definitely keeping a watch on everything. And there's a lot out there that's still alive. So yesterday was a big, huge day. It was very busy at the Capitol. A long, hard day for all of them. But we're definitely keeping an eye on all of that. So.
Well, and that's the thing, because the legislature can have a huge impact on tourism one way or the other.
Absolutely. And they have been really tremendously supportive of us as we tried. We were very strategic in making sure that we didn't just come back from the pandemic, but that we grew, and we took the opportunity to take some of that market share, which is what we were able to do, but we couldn't have done it without them. So we're very supportive of that. And, it touches every community in the state. So it's good for everybody.
Well, it does. And, I was thinking about this when you were talking about it. Down in Macomb, where I live, we have the Railroad Museum down there. It's under construction right now because somebody had a fight with their mom and caught it on fire. Ooh. But that's a whole different thing.
It's a whole nother Mississippi story.
Being rebuilt and things are going great. But they had the little book right inside the front door. When you go in, you sign and you write where you're from and everything. And I do not remember the exact number, and I apologize for this, but it was well over a dozen different countries on
incredible.
Planet Earth that have visited that railroad museum in Macomb.
It is truly incredible. People really don't realize often how many international visitors we have to our state. Of course, we are still trying to recover that sector. There's some issues at the federal level that are obstacles to them coming in, visa issues and wait times and things like that some of our national advocacy organizations are really working hard on. I actually heard something on the Today Show about it this morning. So there's a lot of work to do to get our international visitors back, but we are starting to see that. We just need to make sure we continue to do that, because the thing about international visitors is they've got it a little better than we do at sometimes, because they come for about 3 weeks on average when they come to the United States, and they fly in, rent a car, and drive all over, and they want to experience the real Americana that nobody does better than Mississippi, in my opinion. So I always tell them, get on the back roads and see what you find. It'll always be something interesting. So yes, people are always surprised by how many international visitors we have.
We have a ton of them.
A ton.
That's where the hospitality comes in and plays large in this, though, because if you've got someone from another country and they're here and they're wandering around, English is not their first language, might not be their third language. They might have no familiarity with it, but they're wandering around because they want to see. And they get here, and you compare it to New York. You show there, and, you're not going to get the most warm welcome reception on the planet. You get here, and everybody's like, how you doing?
That's right.
And it
People
just
love
blows them
meeting
away.
visitors. They
Yeah.
want to know where they're from and what they're doing. Of course, music transcends all language, and that's something that a lot of people come here for is our wonderful music. And food, it's we hear a lot of comments about that as well. But yeah, it's wonderful, and it's incredible to see that. The Jackson Food and Wine Fest last weekend was a tremendous success. They had people from I forget, just about every state, I believe, and maybe a couple from out of the country. So really tremendous first showing of that. Very proud of the team here in Jackson.
Very good. Now let me ask you a question here. I didn't prep her on this. I'm so sorry, Danielle. So we're going to get a cold response. I can stall for a minute if you need to think on this.
We got it.
What would you say? And growth is going great. Everything is going fantastic, doing exactly what it should be, but nothing is perfect. What's the biggest challenge that's facing you to continue the growth of tourism in Mississippi right now?
Honestly, I think workforce is probably the biggest challenge, because when we're bringing more visitors in and we're growing, that means we need more people to serve people, to make sure they have an incredible experience why they are here. And so that's something, you've seen it, and I just heard somebody say they went to a restaurant last night in the metro area, and that they had part of it closed because they didn't have servers. And so that's something that we're really starting to work on and figure out some solutions, and working with some others. North Carolina's doing a pilot program in high schools for students who may not be interested in higher education or community college, but they love serving people and they love making people happy. And so we're kind of looking at some of those things and how we can help grow that, because that really is a tremendous challenge for us. The other thing I see is a lot of our historic flagship kind of restaurants like the Mayflower and, different things like that. We're losing some of those because the next generation is not taking over. They all are out in the workforce elsewhere, and it's hard work. It's a labor of love, the restaurant business for sure. So we're looking at that too, and just making sure we continue to provide those unique, incredible experiences that you can only have in places like Mississippi. So I think that's a challenge too, just making sure we have new tourism development coming forward. Outdoor recreation has grown tremendously, and we have beautiful natural resources, but I think we could do a lot more in making them accessible. The state parks are doing a lot of improvements that are going to really help on that. I think, but the more we can increase our biking, hiking infrastructure, the better. So people like being outside.
It sounds like, and you hit three different points there, and they're all very well taken and all very important, but they all three come back to the same thing: people.
People.
You need people.
That's right. People are our greatest tourism asset here in Mississippi.
And that involves getting people involved, getting them fired up, making them realize how important and what a rewarding career it can be.
That's right. Absolutely. And they're not all frontline jobs either. There's a lot of really incredible executive level positions in tourism too. And I often say, many people I know in tourism didn't set out to be in tourism. I have a fine arts degree, and here I am. But I've been an unofficial tour guide my whole life. And so I happened into this and realized it was my life's passion, but nobody ever told me that was an option for a career, and a very good career. So, and of course, hospitality people are the best and most warmest people of any sector, I believe. So it's a fun place to work too.
Well, the guidance counselor doesn't bring that up.
They don't.
Have you thought about talking to the guidance counselors and getting them to bring it up?
Yes, absolutely. We're working on some things now to try to do that, to kind of show tourism as a path that people might not have realized. Because the more we grow with our attractions and wonderful hotel properties and things like that, the more we need executive level management. So we're excited about those initiatives.
People. It always comes back to people.
It does.
To get people to come here, you need people already here, ready and waiting for them.
That's right. And AI can't give you that
No,
experience.
don't get me started on AI. I just went down that road a few minutes ago, Danielle.
I heard.
Don't light that fuse again. We'll be here until 2. But you're exactly right. There are some things that cannot replace the people of Mississippi doing the job. It's never going to happen. It's never going to work. We have to roll up our sleeves and get it done.
That's right. And we will. We always do. So.
Well, we're good. We can't help it.
That's right.
Why is it you come in here and I talk to you for 20 minutes and now I'm starving? How does that work, Danielle?
Tourism, that's a big one of our pillars, is that our food and beverage industry. So we talked about catfish a little bit. The Catfish Festival's coming up the first weekend of April, so you can definitely go get your fix there too. But we're very proud of our food legacy for sure.
As well we should be.
Yes.
We talk catfish, and then you start talking restaurants, and you name them all, and I'm like, I am going to wither away to nothing before I'm done here.
I know, goodness.
It's Tourism Day. I got the press conference 1:30, I think you said, right?
1:30, yes.
So you've got about an hour.
Yes, I better get on down there and make sure everything's ready to roll.
With Jackson lunchtime traffic, you might come screeching up about the time it's time to start, but that's okay. We're going to get you there. And then, of course, party time tonight.
Tonight, yes.
And I would like to end the only way I think we need to. One more time with that number.
$7.5 billion spent by visitors in Mississippi last year.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Let's treat it like the big deal it is.
Thank you, Dave. Couldn't have said it better myself.
That is so plainly obvious. It's almost insulting to pretend you don't see it. Danielle, enjoyed having you.
Thanks so much. I enjoyed being here.
Wonderful time.
Thank you.
Party like it's 1999 tonight.
Okay, I'm going to do my best.
Because that $7.5 billion looks even better compared to that. See,
it's something to celebrate for sure.
It is. Great job.